and they were all just going on in my head, and I felt like, oh my god, did I like play myself and now I'm gonna fail, and if I fail, what's gonna happen, and do I think that was enough time for me? Well, I passed. You know. Hi guys, welcome back to yet another video. If you're new here, my name is Debbie and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. I typically post lifestyle, nursing, and travel videos, and today we are going to do a little bit of a nursing video. For those who have been watching me and following me on Instagram, by the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, I do not know what you're doing with your life. Please head on there and follow me. I like to interact with people who follow me, and that's how you'll find out a little bit more about me. So follow me on the gram, okay? For those who follow me on Instagram, y'all know that back in January I did my NCLEX, and I am glad to say that I passed the NCLEX. And so this video will be going into sort of like how I managed to pass NCLEX in only 75 questions. So if you're really interested in hearing more, please stay tuned to this video. Please watch till the end. I promise you it'll all be good stuff, gems all around, nothing short. I am not going to cheat you. I'm just going to give you what worked for me, and hopefully that works for you and you can integrate other things for yourself. With no further ado, let us begin. So I will do this video into sections. Before sitting for the NCLEX, so like the timeline, the process, the registration, and then the study, and then the other part will be the study time, what materials that I used, how long I studied for, and all that good jazz, okay? The school that I went to, which is Rush University in Chicago, really helped us during like that registration process. We actually received a lot of this information way before we were eligible to actually like register. I registered on December 8th, and before you actually register, you have to go get your fingerprints done, and then a background. The registration is two processes. You have to register on what is called Continental Testing Services, and then register also on Pearson VUE. Also a disclaimer, I am only talking about the Illinois registration process. I do not know about the registration process in other states, so just keep that in mind while you're watching this video. December 8th, I got my fingerprints done, and then what happens is they give you a receipt that you're supposed to send to Continental Testing Services. Before you actually even send that, you have to have created an account. That's what the registration process is. Create an account with Continental Services, and you have to pay, I think, $98. And then once your fingerprints are done, send the receipt. I would also say like take a picture of the receipt just in case they do not receive it and whatever. So send it to Continental Testing Services, and then register with Pearson VUE. So you register with Pearson VUE because that's the vendor that NCLEX uses to have you schedule the exam with. And when you register with them, you have to pay $200 to be able to like schedule your exam. Once that is done, you just have to wait. So for me, the waiting process took about 4 weeks. Oh, I forgot to say one thing. With Continental Testing Services, once your degree is conferred, you have to send it to them. So for my school, they did that for us. We didn't really have to they didn't have to like send us the degree and then we send it to Continental Testing Services, so that really helped. Another thing is it's like ensuring like your names match, so like how your name is on your school roster versus the name that you're using, because there were a lot of people in my class, well, not a lot, just a few people who had a few issues with that, but then that elongates your process. So my degree got conferred on December 19th of 2020, and then I think a week and a half later, which was December 31st, I received my authorization to test. And what there was authorization to test is, it's an email that tells you, okay, you are eligible to now go ahead and schedule your exam. Once my authorization to test came, I went ahead and, of course, the first thing you want to do is schedule your exam. So the funny thing was, somehow they were only showing only 2 weeks of dates available I checked in Illinois, I checked in Indiana, I checked in Missouri. Only the first 2 weeks were available. And I really didn't want to wait, so I just went ahead and scheduled my exam for January 15th. At that point, I literally had only 2 weeks to study. Technically, I wanted to give myself like a whole month to study, and I wanted to start around kind of like after registration, so like around the beginning of December, and I would take that time up to maybe middle of January. That's when I wanted, around the time that I actually scheduled my exam, so I wanted to take that time to study. But with just how things went, that whole registration process, and then it was around the time we were doing the registration process, the time we were finishing our capstone, we had our presentations going on, there were all this many things going on. And then after graduation, we went into the holidays. It was the next week was literally Christmas, and so also that kind of like, you know, spoiled, you know, kind of removed the time that I needed to study. I really started studying nicely the week after Christmas. Essentially, I had like about 2.5-3 weeks of studying before I sat for my NCLEX. Do I think that was enough time for me? Well, I passed, you know. But like, I think in hindsight, I feel like maybe, you know, I might have needed a little bit more time just to calm my nerves, because I remember 2 days before before I had to go and sit for my NCLEX, I was really nervous. A couple days before that, we had gone for a trip, which was supposed to be like my graduation celebratory trip, and you know, the back of my mind, I felt like, okay, maybe we were hasty in making this decision. This was not the right time for me to travel, and there were all these things going on in my head, and I felt like, oh my god, did I like play myself, and now I'm gonna fail, and if I fail, what's gonna happen? And there was just like a lot of things going on in my head. But I just, you know, I had to have a conversation with myself. I told myself that, you know, I spent a whole 2 years in nursing school and none of that was in vain, that I am confident, I'm smart, I have everything that I need to succeed. And more so, it was more like a mental war within me. I technically speaking, like knowledge-wise, I was ready, test taking, skills wise, I was good, and so it was just about me shifting my mindset, shifting my attitude towards the exam and all of that. Now that I've talked about like my timeline, what materials did I use? The number one thing that I used was, and if you're a nursing student, you probably have heard this, you've seen videos about this, was UWorld. I also used Sonda's NCLEX review. I also utilized videos from registered RN. She's called Sarah on YouTube. She does also like NCLEX review videos. I will talk about what I liked best about UWorld, and then what I really did not like with UWorld, and how to really utilize UWorld to ensure that you are successful and ensure that you actually are prepared enough to sit for your exam. Their practice questions were actually difficult. You would wonder why I would say I like that about UWorld, because it really helped build that critical thinking that is really essential, not only just for the exam, but also like as in nursing as a practice. After every question, it will provide like a whole rationale behind the whole question, why the answer is the way it was, and then why the other choices are wrong. And I felt like I actually learned a lot of things from the rationales. The style of questions really mimic the NCLEX. Like really, they'll ask you a lot of like select all apply questions. They'll ask you what to do first type of questions. The interface of UWorld is very much the same as the NCLEX interface. Another thing about UWorld, so it operates in two modes: tutor mode and timed mode. Timed mode is where you pick the number of questions that you want to do. So if you, for example, you're doing like 75 questions, you select your 75 questions, and then it'll start. The timer will go and start, and once you answer each question, it just goes to the next question without showing you whether you got the question right or wrong and showing you the rationale. Then once you're done, you're able to go back and review all the questions. It shows you the questions that you got right and wrong, and then you're able to review the rationales for each question. The tutor mode is after you select your questions that you want to do, after you do each question, it'll show you whether you got it right or you got wrong, and then you can read through the rationale before you go to the next question. So when I started using UWorld, I used it using the tutor mode. I think I didn't realize that you can like switch it on and off, and in hindsight I feel like I probably did waste a lot of time by doing it that way. Eventually I switched over to doing it with the timed mode, and so I would just like crank out a bunch of questions, like 50 questions, and then I would go back and like read through the rationales, and I felt like that was a much more effective way to utilize my time and just be smart about my studying ways. Another thing about UWorld is you're able to do practice questions based off the different body systems. So if you want to do like cardio related questions, you can just click select cardio, and then it'll bring you the number of questions that you want to do for the cardio system, or like respiratory or musculoskeletal, GI, all of that. And then it also divides it between like the different classes. So if you want to do adult health, or you want to do child, or you want to do maternity, or you want to do just psych questions, you are able to do that. What I found effective was just selecting from all the bucket, like just select all, where each set of tests that I do has questions from everywhere. Also, another thing is it always so it shows you like a pie chart of your performance, and then after each test it'll rate you percentile wise compared to like the average person who's doing that test. So it'll show you if the average person was at a 50 percentile after taking that test. Where are you on like below or above that percentile, and then that kind of helps you gauge yourself and gauge what you need to do to perform better. Depending on whatever package that you use, you'll have a bucket of 2,000 questions. The 30-day comes with 2,000 questions, and then I don't think it has a self-assessment exam. But the 60-day, from the 60-day, 180, 60-day, 90-day, and 180, they all have. So now this takes me to kind of like the thing that I did not like about. Well, it's not really I did not like, but kind of like the con of UWorld and why some people don't really like to use it. UWorld is super expensive. It's actually quite expensive. The 30-day literally goes for $129, and that's like at the minimum. So that in itself is quite expensive for a student. I would say this is worth it if you're able to afford that. I really hope that this video was actually helpful. If you have any questions about NCLEX prep that you have that I didn't talk about, please don't forget, please feel free to leave a comment down below. And I hope that this video was informative. If it was informative for you, please give it a thumbs up, give me a comment down below. I thank you for just tuning in and watching my videos. And I will see you guys on the next video. Let's connect on the socials. Follow me on Instagram. If you like me, if you like this video and you want to stick around, subscribe. I will appreciate it. And that is all for me right now. Until the next video, take care guys, and stay safe.